We know that more air isn't always better, but what happens when you have a phrase that does require a full tank of gas? Hi, my name is Maddie Tarbox, and welcome back to our Anatomy and Function series where we're going over all the individual pieces of the vocal instrument and how they work together so that you can develop a more reliable, sustainable relationship with your instrument. So we have a phrase that requires a full tank of gas. Consider this your gas tank. From full lungs to empty lungs, we've got three different phases represented by these three different colored triangles in here. The first phase, which is represented by this pinkish color, is right after you've taken a breath, that big breath, and you go to phonate. The second phase, which is represented by this yellowish color here, is after you've been singing for a few seconds. And this teal color here is your third phase, where you're starting to run out of air. Different breath management tools are going to be necessary in each of these three phases, which is why I feel like the idea of breath support is so elusive for people, because it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. So what are the things that we know about at least the first phase that can get us a little bit more success in the kinds of tonal outcomes that we want? We know that the lungs are elastic, which means they just want to snap back down to their normal size when they're overly inflated. If you take a full breath, they're overly inflated. So if we don't want an overly pressurized sound coming out of our mouth, what we're going to need to do is resist the elastic recoil with some muscular antagonism from our inhalation muscles, not our exhalation muscles. The simplest thing to say is after you've taken that full breath, maintain the inhalation posture for as long as you can. So instead of hi, we might try hi. That simple practice is going to remove a lot of the subglottal pressure happening underneath the vocal folds. It'll also offer us a little more control at the top of the phrase, while also helping us to preserve more air to help us get through the rest of the phrase. After you've been singing for a few seconds, that elastic recoil pressure will dissipate and we'll be in the middle phase here, this kind of yellow symbol up there. This phase of exhalation is the happy spot where we don't have to think too much about it because the pressures are pretty balanced. So just enjoy the ride there. But as we start to get down into the lower side of this gas tank, that elastic recoil from those overly full lungs has entirely dissipated, but we still need to somehow send air out of our body to keep this phrase going. This is where we're going to want to employ some of the exhalation muscles to help send the rest of that little bit of air that's hiding in your lungs through the vocal folds to help you make some sound. The simple direction here is engage your abdominal wall. This will pull the rib cage down, which helps you to send the rest of the air out of the lungs.